Hello, everybody, and thank you for being here. The 26th of July. This is a date I have to remember because I got in a lot of trouble for it. It's my 44th wedding anniversary. Now, one day I forgot it when Ants asked me in front of 500 people on the webinar. But anyway, I'll never forget it again because my wife was in the background, called me an idiot. So, anyway, yeah, we're shining a light again on a gentleman, Don Parker. I've chatted with him a few times in the past. Unbelievable human being. Without a doubt, you're going to see that real soon. I want to touch on one thing though. Yesterday we had 360, and we heard from Ashmi Farah, and some of it was gut wrenching for most of us because of what he's going through. We don't know the details, but I don't need to. It's not good. But I know one thing. I've been here 5.5 years. I can't think of one day I didn't do something with ONPASSIVE. And I've looked for this company for 35, 40 years. Without a doubt, a company like this, it's even bigger and better than I thought. I have never met an individual that cares more about people than Ashmi Farah. Not one on the whole planet. So I'm with him till the end. I think we all are. And I was really happy to see that he got to hear how much people care for him, and they're back and they're with him no matter what. I felt bad for what's going on. Whatever it is, it's not good, but it's in good hands. He will not quit, and I believe this too. And I know some people don't want to hear it, but I don't care. He runs the business by God. He believes in God. He prays about it all the time. We all pray together, and it's pretty powerful. And get the chance, watch it. He doesn't talk that much on there, but as always, listen to the people's comments. It was very powerful yesterday. Really, really, it was enjoyable. Anyway, I'm going to turn it over to Chris. He's going to introduce this guy, and we're going to kick it up a notch. Go ahead, Chris.
Good morning, Marty. I know you're in the background there, buddy Don. I want to say a couple things here real quick. I want to say happy birthday to Bruce Gerstein. Brucey, I love you, baby. Good. I hope you have a great day. And Marty, you said you were married for 44 years. Is that what you said? Because I text Dawn and she said it feels like 106. But anyway, but anyone else that has a birthday, happy birthday. There's a lot of people that we're praying for, and this next guy I'm bringing on always sends me some nice prayers and a good conversation. He's a God-fearing guy. He's got a beautiful family. He's got a beautiful outlook. He's very, very handsome. And he's just he's all around good guy. But I want to introduce my brother, who I'm very fond of. Mr. Don Parker is going to tell us a little bit about himself. Don, take your time, do whatever you got to do, and let's have some fun, brother.
Thank you. I am so excited to be here. I appreciate you guys so much. I have really enjoyed these Shine the Light segments because you get to know a little bit about people that you've been saying hi to now for me a little over 4 years. And it's just kind of cool to figure out who people really are, not just a name and a couple of lines here in a chat box. So I'm not a shy guy. Anybody that knows me will tell you that. But I was telling these guys earlier, at 66, I can tend to ramble and get off track a little bit. So what I did is I wrote my story out, the parts that I feel like were pertinent to my journey to ONPASSIVE. And so if you'll bear with me, I'm just going to read through it. So if it looks like I'm looking away from the camera, it's because I am. But I've titled this my ONPASSIVE journey, the how and the why. And so I just want to say, first of all, that I'm really thrilled and grateful to get to be here with these two guys. They're not just my heroes in ONPASSIVE. These are two guys that I greatly respect because of their integrity, but they're also two guys that I consider my friends, and I'm proud of that. I've said this before. I believe that there's soon coming a day when people are going to come up to some of us founders and ask this question: how did you know? And my answer is going to be this: we simply focused on the character over the content, and we knew it would be worth the wait. So if I told you my whole story, it would get kind of long and complicated. and I might get emotional. So I'm going to do my best to just give you the Reader's Digest version. Otherwise, some of y'all are going to be going to sleep. But hopefully when I'm done, you'll have a pretty good snapshot of who Don Parker is. And when you see my name on the chat box or on Facebook, you'll go, yeah, I know something about that guy. To begin with, I live in Greer, South Carolina. It's pretty and green because it rains a lot here. But I've been here for the last 4 years, where I moved after living in Denver area for 35 years. Besides being a loyal founder of ONPASSIVE, I'm a poet, an entrepreneur, I'm a singer and a songwriter. I play guitar. I love most all sports, but basketball is my thing. From a young boy, I loved playing in pickup games. I played in high school, played in rec leagues till I was into my 50s when my body finally said, don't you think we've had enough? I love music and old movies, but I want to tell you what's most important to me is that I'm a man of faith. I'm a biblicist, a prayer warrior, and I'm a man who's fiercely committed to his family. One of the things that I love most about this company is that this community has become like a second family to me. Even though I don't show my face a whole lot, I follow many of you on Facebook. We greet each other on the lives that I'm able to attend, and I'm looking forward to the day when we can meet face to face, maybe even in Marty's new living room. I love to travel, and I'm one of those oddballs that prefers to drive wherever possible. And in fact, we're headed out next week on a big, long vacation road trip to make several stops that's going to end up in Denver to visit my son and his wife and our brand new grandbaby, who's number 7, who was just born a week ago today. So like Chris, I was a car guy for most of my working life. My part of the business was on the other side though. Chris was in manufacturing, I was in the sales and service. I went to work for my first new car dealer in 1977, almost right out of high school. I spent the better part of the next 35 years doing service and parts and sales for many new car dealers from Ford, GM, worked for Porsche, Audi, and Volkswagen for a while, many others. I also spent a few years helping to manage some independent used car lots. I tried a few times to get out of the car business. I sold mortgages, even did door-to-door roofing sales. Living out in Colorado with the hailstorms that they have there, roofing sales is a lucrative business, but the car business was always in my blood. I remember I was only about 22 years old when I heard my first home-based business pitch. I don't even remember what company it was for, but I do remember that I was hooked. I became convinced that there had to be a way to work for myself from home, not punch a clock, not work on commission, and I was always trying to figure out how to do that, spending a good part of my spare time on it. I got into more opportunities than I can even remember, and I made some money, but I lost a lot more than I ever made. When the internet really began to boom, I thought, man, this is it. I spent a lot of time and what little money I had trying to learn to be an internet marketer. I never reached Marty's level because I was always trying to figure out how to do it on a shoestring budget. So obviously I never cracked that code. I was married at the time to a wonderful woman named Karen, who really didn't have an entrepreneurial bone in her body, but she always believed in me and she supported my dreams. We had 3 great kids. And in 2012, our youngest was about to graduate high school, and we were beginning to anticipate that empty nest stage of our lives. We were looking forward to our retirement years. But on June 6th of 2012, it was my birthday, and our youngest had just graduated the week before. But on that day, our whole world turned upside down. After a couple of months of trying to figure out why Karen was having trouble with her right hand going numb and losing some use of her right hand, we went to the chiropractor and he convinced us to go get a CAT scan. We learned that Karen had a tennis ball sized tumor on the left side of her brain. And after a series of MRIs and other tests, we learned that it was indeed cancer. She had a grade 4 GBM, which I learned is a glioblastoma metaforma. Long word that I wish I'd never heard, but it's the nastiest type of cancer known to man. It's the kind that nobody ever survives. There's no such thing as remission. The best you can hope for is to be stable for as long as possible. So the surgery was set for the 20th of June, and the surgery was successful at greatly reducing the size of the tumor. But during this, what they called an open craniotomy, she had a stroke. and lost most of the use of her right side. And I instantly became a 24/7 caregiver. I remember the surgeon coming in the next day, and Karen was still laying in a coma. And he took me out in the hall and he said, "Mr. Parker, I need you to understand that we did not do this surgery to save your wife's life, but to prolong it for as long as possible. No one ever beats this kind of cancer." And I said, "Doc, I thank you. I really appreciate all you've done, but it's not up to you. When God's ready for her, he's going to take her and it'll be okay." And I went back in the room and I sat down next to the bed and I prayed, "God, I promise to take care of her to the very best of my ability for as long as you let me keep her every day." And so that's what I did. The prognosis was 14 months. That was the average, 14 months. And so I began to prepare. I'm going to lose my wife. But thankfully, God gave us another 7.5 years after that. And in that amount of time, my entire focus changed. My whole reason to get up in the morning became all about what does she need? What meds? What appointments? Is she hungry? Does she need to get up and go to the bathroom? Is it time to go to bed? Everything was about what Karen needed. And it changed me as a person. For one thing, I learned what it truly means to love somebody, to serve somebody, and not expect anything in return. During that amount of time, through that 7 years, along about 2015, I came across another home-based business company whose products actually worked. I had gotten up to around 316 pounds. I had always struggled with my weight, even though I was pretty athletic. But getting up to 316 pounds because I was very sedentary. Other than taking care of her, I was on the couch most of the time, or, I'd go walk the dog every once in a while. But anyway, my oldest daughter recommended this company because a friend of hers had just lost a bunch of weight on it. And I didn't really have much faith in it. I felt like I had tried everything out there, and I certainly wasn't looking for another opportunity to do. But to pacify my daughter, I reluctantly gave it a try. And to my surprise, I started feeling better. Over the course of the next year, I lost 60 pounds, and I was feeling healthier than I had in a really long time. And I shared the products with a few friends, but just didn't have the energy or the focus to do it as a business. Fast forward to February of 2020, and nearly 7 years of relative comfort and stability for Karen. Now she was going downhill fast. She had been going downhill fast for about 6 months. And on the 15th of February, just 1 month shy of our 35th anniversary, she passed away peacefully while I sat and held her hand, told her it was okay, told her I loved her. And in the days that followed, I did my best to adjust. People say, "How you doing?" "Oh, I'm fine. I'm getting my balance. God's good and it's going to be okay." But on the inside, I was a wreck. I couldn't imagine any future, much less a bright one. By my birthday in June, I turned 62, and I began asking God for two things: for direction about what to do with whatever amount of time I had left, and for a companion to spend the time with. I know me, I'm not built to be alone. So I started thinking about this company whose products I was still using, and I began to search for a way. I thought maybe there's a way that I could pay somebody to do the marketing for me. I've got these products that I like, and I respect this company, but I just am not up for doing the marketing and all of that stuff. And so after all I had been through for the last 8 years, basically, the anxiety and depression that would come over me, I just didn't have that desire anymore to do anything, but I knew I needed something to do. About a week after that, I saw a small ad pop up on Facebook, and it said 100% done for you. What's that about? It piqued my curiosity. And so I answered the ad, and it sounded like it could be what I was looking for. I'm really glad, by the way, that the company didn't stay in that design, because it's grown so far beyond my wildest imagination. I thank God every day for what I can see coming. And to be honest, if what I can see coming now had been promoted then, I probably would have passed, because I would have thought, man, that's just too good to be true. There's no way that could happen. Anyway, that led me to watch a couple of Mike Ellis videos. And that led me to this guy, MARTY in Jersey, of all places, who was doing a YouTube live every day. I almost instantly connected in my spirit to who Marty is as a person. His passion for the company was infectious, and that convinced me that this was something different. And for $97, I said to myself, Self, you asked for direction. This looks like it could be the answer, and you'd be crazy not to go for it. So on June 14th in 2020, I joined the company, and I've never regretted that decision. Just as a side note here, I remember when Chris came on the scene, my first impression was the opposite. You see, by the time that Chris showed up, I was already a big fan of Marty's. We had already begun to form a friendship. We'd talked a couple of times. We'd done a co-op together. But as most of us know, Marty does tend to run late. Some might say that Marty has a dysfunctional relationship with the clock. Anyway, when I first began to notice Chris, he was constantly saying, Marty, you're fired for being late. And that just hit me the wrong way because I felt like he was hammering on my guy. But what I learned about Chris, several things actually. First, he's got sort of a quirky sense of humor that I didn't get at first. But second, this is a guy with a heart for people as big as anybody I've ever been around. And that began to draw me in. And then I began to understand that he's also a man of faith who believes in the power of prayer. So now we've got some things really in common. And the more that I've gotten to know Chris, the more I've really begun to love him as a friend and a brother. I learned that he's not just the funny guy in the room, but he really is a man of great character. And it just goes to prove that you can't judge a person by your first impression, and that it takes all kinds to make the world go round. And in ONPASSIVE, that is certainly true. Every one of us in this company is important. We all have a part to play. We all have a way that we're going to eventually do this company, and they all mean something. They all have value. Anyway, as I've watched the company evolve and as I've come to know who Ash is as a person and as a businessman, as I've met and followed so many quality people in this company, I am more convinced than ever that this was the best business decision I could have ever made, no matter how long it takes. Oh, and by the way, the second part of that prayer back in 2020, a couple of months after that, in August, I just by chance reconnected with an old friend from high school who turned out to be the answer to that second part of that prayer. And we started talking and never stopped. And in January of 22, we got married. And she is also a founder. And we have a lot of plans and dreams for how ONPASSIVE is going to impact our lives and what it's going to allow us to do. We're going to have the uncommon freedom that I've always prayed for, uncommon freedoms, that ability to do what I want, when I want, where I want, how I want, and never have to think about money. We both have a heart for missions and several other humanitarian causes that are important to us. And so we're looking forward to having the ability to take care of ourselves and our family, and then be able to travel the world and leave a trail of blessings behind everywhere we go. And that's our why. So now when you see me online or in a chat room, you'll know a little bit about who Don Parker is. And gentlemen, that's all I got. Back to you, Chris.
Oh my gosh, Don, you got me crying and laughing all at the same time. Wow. Number one, Don, I wish you'd speak a lot more because you're an excellent speaker. My heart really goes out for you for what you went through. But you're a strong individual, and I'm blown away. I'm not crazy, but hold on, I got to do this. Marty, you're fired, just to get under Don's skin. Don, you're an amazing guy, dude.
Oh, thank you, man.
A lot of things I didn't know. I just found out. I guarantee you're going to connect to millions of people, and you just really blew me away. And not to knock anyone else. You can make me cry and laugh in the same 10 minutes. Yeah, there's something going on there. I'm honored to know you and to call you a friend. Absolutely believe in the power of prayer and God, and I love that about you. But the stuff you just told me, you just kind of knocked me off my chair here. I was texting Marty, dude, I can't stop crying now. But I'm glad that you shared this with us. It's not easy to talk about, I'm sure. But, man, I'm so glad you did, Don. I love you for that, brother. I really do.
Thank you. I told you it took me a while to get myself pumped up to be able to get through it. So that's why I wrote it out.
Don was texting me, Chris, how long? I said, Don, you take however long you want. And then he had like a sense of relief I felt through the phone. Oh, so it was it was great, Don. I'm so glad we got in here. And Eric, you hear me? That's the guy. Eric, I always over here, down here, but Eric was talking about you last night. And he definitely wants, I don't know why anyone would want to hang out with you, Don.
Oh, man.
He's an amazing guy. Marty?
Yeah. Let me say something, okay? Jabberjaw. Don, fantastic. Really. I expected greatness and you exceeded it without a doubt. It was you spoke from the heart, and this is my why. This is part of my why. Really, it is. I love putting a spot on people. I believe you should lift people above yourself. You shouldn't be so proud that you think you're the smartest one in the room or the best in the room or whatever. And yeah, you will inspire a lot of people. You did me. So no, this is man, this was really good. This was a very good one. And you're a unique individual, and you definitely have you're one of God's children. I can see that. So yeah, it was very good, Don. Thank you so much.
And you said
my privilege.
You said some pretty amazing things in here, Don, that I'm sure Marty is going to piece together and put out. Powerful, very powerful words. And I know where you get those powerful words from that big guy up there and what you've experienced. And sometimes we go through things that we don't want to go through, but we have to. And you stuck with it for a very long time because you put someone above you. You loved your wife to the end, and I'm proud of you for that.
Life beats you down, but your character is determined on how you respond to it.
Exactly.
And you've got an awesome character, without a doubt.
Guys, I prayed several times this morning. God, please don't let me screw up.
You did not. You were perfect.
Well, let me tell you something. I pray too, and it's not a very nice prayer because I said if anybody's going to screw up, make sure it's Chris John.
And I mess up all the time, but that's me. That's who I am.
I appreciate you guys so much. You have no idea. I really do.
I think what you just showed the world, it's just an amazing thing what you said and how you said it, man. I mean, I'm really blown away by just your life in general and how upbeat you are from all that you've gone through and losing 60 pounds. Remember, I think about a year ago you were saying, hey, I'm doing this and doing that and I'm losing weight and you look amazing, dude. You just keep doing what you're doing.
Bad for an old fart.
Yeah.
You
said you're 66?
66 last month, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well,
I know.
See, Marty, don't we feel bad now?
I know I do, yeah.
He looks good, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying, man.
Keep it up. It was a pleasure.
I thought he was like 55.
Yeah, I would say
please.
over 50.
You should have seen me trying to get up off the floor with my dog a little while ago. You wouldn't have thought that.
Been there, done that.
Oh, man.
I don't drop anything for that reason, Don. I try never to drop nothing because I know I got to go pick it up, and that hurts sometimes.
Yeah, I never get without a plan. You got to have an exit strategy.
Oh, if I drop something, I'm kicking that pig across the floor until I get somewhere I can grab it.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, because if I go down, I'm not getting up. Okay, there's no way. I'm like that commercial. I've fallen, I can't get up. So.
Yes.
Anyway, this was fantastic. Say goodbye, guys. Don, you're going to be back, buddy. In fact, we're gonna do more things. I hope. I really do.
Thank you, folks.
You're my kind of people. All right.
I love y'all.
See you all.
Peace out.
Chris, go fishing. Chris, do me a favor though, as a friend and a brother. When you catch a fish and you're not sure if it's bait, I mean, don't show it on camera, okay?
I don't. I sent him to Ash, and what did he say yesterday? It looks like sample fish.
Yeah.
Well, if I go fishing, it's going out Lake St. Clair, and my son's pretty lucky. Hopefully, we'll get some northern pike out there. We'll see.
I hope you catch a big one.
Yeah, I don't call what I do fishing anymore.
Yeah.
I call it looking at the water.
Looking at the water.
I'm watching the water, yeah. I could swear the fish are under the water going, look at this idiot. Yeah.
The worms even laugh at me when I put them on the hook. You're really not going to catch nothing, Gee, thanks.
Exactly.
Say
Appreciate
goodbye,
you guys.